Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Yet again, Edge's educational second with Brooke breaks Taylor's heart. The striking and the delightful spoilers and updates bother Taylor Hayes may be confronting an unforgiving reality in the wake of reviving her sentiment with Edge Forrester in the room. While her fantasy of a get-together is tantalizingly close, it doesn't ensure that she will accomplish the fantasy finishing she wants with the man she loves. The strong and the wonderful spoilers, Taylor never prevails upon Brooke for extremely lengthy. The show generally figures out how to hold Taylor back from winning over Brooke Logan for a really long time. Taylor seems, by all accounts, to be near the very edge of accomplishing her cravings, however, her joy could before long come crashing down. Right now, Edge sees Brooke as a manipulating double-crosser, accepting she has exacerbated the strife of the Forrester takeover by grabbing the president position. In any case, Brooke will be able to explain what is happening once the 7-day stretch of December 23rd to 27th rolls around. Edge is set to face Brooke, having rushed to make hurried judgment calls, however she will console him that her activities don't comprise a treachery. B&B spoilers. Brooke's mystery plan. Brooke has conceived a secret technique that she accepts will re-establish ability to Edge and Steffi Forrester. Her arrangement spins around recovering the president position, which she thinks will empower her to influence Carter Walton into re-recording the LLC archives. This time, still up in the air to have everything set up with both Edge and Steffi in charge. What will Edge's response be when Brooke imparts her arrangements to him? Might it at any point be that Edge at long last perceives Brooke's relentless devotion and comes to understand the huge blunder he made in picking Taylor? The strong and the delightful spoilers, Edge the waffler understands his blunder? Edge might be difficult and carve out opportunity to acknowledge things, however it appears he will arrive at that seeing in the end. He frequently alters his perspective on ladies, so his new interest in Taylor probably won't keep going long. Taylor ought to prepare herself for more despair. Brooke will be vexed when she finds out about Edge's affections for Taylor, however Carter has been discussing fate of late. The show has consistently depicted Edge and Brooke as a predetermined couple, beating snags together, and this is only another hindrance to survive. This implies that regardless of whether they separate now, it doesn't mean Edge will focus on Taylor for good. Edge and Brooke are probably going to rejoin from now on. Edge Forrester's perplexing heartfelt entrapments have forever been the close-to-home heartbeat of the striking and the delightful, winding around an embroidery of adoration, disloyalty, and recovery that enthralls its crowd. His latest educational second with Brooke Logan has sent shockwaves through Taylor Hayes' delicate dreams of an enduring gathering. Taylor, confident yet wary, accepted she had at long last recovered Edge's heart following quite a while of longing and disaster. Their revived closeness appeared as though a perfection of her commitment, a substantial acknowledgement of the affection she had contended energetically to support regardless of Brooke's constant presence in Edge's life. Yet, as history has shown, the connection among Edge and Brooke isn't handily cut off, regardless of the number of exciting bends in the road that destiny appears to toss their direction. Edge's perspective on Brooke as a double-crosser, exacerbated by her new activities during the Forrester manifestation's unrest, could have briefly determined him toward Taylor. However, even in snapshots of disappointment with Brooke, there lies a string of association that Edge can't escape, a reality that ends up being obvious when Brooke uncovers her mystery intent to re-establish harmony inside the organization. Her activities, not even close to egotistical, highlight her steady devotion to Edge and his family, leaving Edge wrestling with the acknowledgement that he might have gotten Brooke's aims wrong. For Taylor, this disclosure is out and out annihilating. She is no more odd to taking on a supporting role to Brooke, and the pattern of trust followed by deplorability has turned into an excruciating example in her life. Taylor's adoration for Edge is authentic and profound, however it is ceaselessly eclipsed by Edge's inclination to return to Brooke, drawn by the obvious science and shared history that characterizes their association. Brooke's essential move to recapture the president position and adjust Steffi to Edge isn't simply an expert choice, however a statement of her confidence in Edge's initiative and her obligation to supporting him, in any event, when their relationship vacillates. This disclosure, becoming exposed during a genuinely charged conflict, powers Edge to stand up to the unmistakable truth of his faltering loyalties. He starts to consider Taylor's affection to be a protected harbor, yet questions whether it really lights the energy and feeling of fate he feels with Brooke. As Edge wrestles with his revelation, the close-to-home cost for Taylor is monstrous. She had permitted herself to accept, even momentarily, that she could protect a future with Edge liberated from Brooke's shadow. The reviving of their sentiment should be a new beginning, an opportunity to reconstruct on their common history and shared fondness. All things considered, obviously Edge's heart stays separated, and his recently discovered appreciation for Brooke's steadfastness just develops Taylor's hopelessness. For Brooke, this second fills in as both a justification and a test. She has forever been depicted as Edge's fate, the one who can endure any hardship with him. However, this fate includes some significant downfalls, as it sustains a pattern of personal unrest for all interested parties. At last, Edge's uncertainty and the aftermath from his activities feature the continuous battle inside the striking and the wonderful, the mission for affection, the cost of reliability, and the persevering through question of whether fate can really conquer the intricacies of human connections. Edge may yet end up getting back to Brooke's arms, yet Taylor's deplorability fills in as a strong update that in this universe of captivating treacheries and heartfelt traps, bliss is however passing as it seems to be subtle. Edge Forrester, ever the epitome of profound choppiness and heartfelt hesitation, wound up at a junction once more, a spot really intimately acquainted for the one who has consumed his time on earth conflicted between two ladies, Brooke Logan, the timeless fire, and Taylor Hayes, the getting through safe house. His associations with Brooke and Taylor have characterized his life as well as the many-sided and sensational trap of the intense and the delightful. This time, be that as it may, Edge's mental breakthrough came not from a progressive acknowledgement but rather an unexpected, puncturing revelation as Brooke's activities, once saw as treachery, uncovered themselves as demonstrations of immovable faithfulness. Yet again the aftermath from this disclosure resounded through his relationship with Taylor, breaking her heart as her long-held expects a future with Edge disintegrated under the heaviness of his draw toward Brooke. Taylor had thought for even a moment to have confidence in a new beginning with Edge, a reviving of the affection they once shared, reignited by the close-to-home closeness and energy they had rediscovered. Their evenings together, brimming with murmured guarantees and passing giggling, felt like the climax of long stretches of longing and implicit yearning. Yet, Taylor, ever the confident person in affection, realized where it counts that Edge's heart was a milestone, scarred and tangled, split between the solace she offered and the irrefutable flash he imparted to Brooke. For a really long time, Taylor had battled to get a spot in Edge's heart that wasn't brief, just to see him retreat to Brooke over and over. This time, nonetheless, it felt unique, or so she thought. Edge's contempt for Brooke, powered by her apparent double-crossing during the Forrester manifestation's disturbance, had driven him immovably into Taylor's arms. Brooke's move to get the chief position had been seen by Edge as a self-serving act that subverted Steffi and sold out the family. It was a demonstration that appeared to set Taylor's situation as the one who really comprehended and upheld him. However, in the many-sided dance of force and love that characterizes the strong and the wonderful, nothing is ever as it appears. As the 7-day stretch of December 23rd to 27th unfurled, Brooke took her action. Her undercover arrangement, planned not so much for individual addition but rather to re-establish harmony to Forrester manifestations and spot Edge and Steffi in charge, became known. Brooke, ever the planner, had acted not out of desire yet out of affection, an affection so profound and versatile that it opposed Edge's questions and allegations. At the point when Edge faced her, ready to reaffirm his indignation, he was met with a reality that broke his suppositions. Brooke's activities had been for him, for Steffi, for the family the two of them loved. This disclosure struck Edge like a lightning bolt. At that time, he saw Brooke not as the double-crosser he had painted her to be, however, as the immovable accomplice who had consistently remained by him, in any event, when their affection was tried. The acknowledgement was, however, agonizing as it seemed to be significant, for it constrained Edge to defy his own downfalls, the rushed decisions, the faltering loyalties, the close-to-home whiplash he had caused for the two ladies who cherished him most. For Taylor, the aftermath was pulverizing. She had permitted herself to trust, to dream of a future where she and Edge could at long last be together without Brooke's shadow approaching over them. Their revived sentiment had felt like a triumph, a demonstration of her understanding and commitment. Be that as it may, as Edge's viewpoint moved, so too did her reality. The man she adored, the man she accepted had at long last picked her, was getting endlessly once more, stepped back to the one who had consistently held an unwavering case on his heart. Taylor's aggravation was substantial, her grievousness a quiet shout that reverberated through the lobbies of the Forrester Chateau. She had given all that to Edge, her adoration, her trust, her weakness, just to watch it unwind despite Brooke's certain bond with him. The cycle was tireless, a horrible update that in Edge's. Brooke, as far as it matters for her, was both justified and troubled by Edge's acknowledgement. She had carried on of adoration, not to win him back, but rather to do what she accepted was correct. However, Edge's recently discovered appreciation for her reliability accompanied its own weight. She cherished him, obviously, however their relationship was a consistent fight against powers, both interior and outer. Predetermination had forever been their reason for living card, yet fate, it appeared, accompanied a cost paid by Taylor, by Edge, and by Brooke herself. Eventually, Edge's revelation didn't determine the tangled trap of feelings that bound them. All things considered, it added one more layer of intricacy to their story, an account of affection and misfortune, of trust and tragedy, of decisions made and destroyed. At any point for Edge, the inquiry remained, might he at any point genuinely pick either Brooke and Taylor, or would he say he was bound to falter, trapped in the perpetual to and fro of his heart? For Taylor, the inquiry was more excruciating. How often might her heart at some point break before she could never again get the pieces? What's more, for Brooke, the inquiry waited in the shadows, was being Edge's fate enough, or could the expense of their adoration at last demonstrate excessively perfect? The adventure of Edge, Brooke, and Taylor is a long way from being done, yet one truth stays clear: love, in the entirety of its chaotic, convoluted magnificence, is rarely straightforward, and for these three, it is however persevering as it seems to be tricky. In the multifaceted and sincerely charged universe of the strong and the delightful, one truth has stayed steady throughout the long term: Taylor Hayes, notwithstanding her knowledge, empathy, and certain excellence, seldom figures out how to win over Brooke Logan for a drawn-out period. Taylor and Brooke have been secured in a decades-in-length competition, a turbulent fight for Edge Forrester's heart that has characterized a large part of the show's emotional embroidery. While Taylor at times appears to be ready to guarantee the joy she so profoundly merits, destiny, or Edge's faltering kind gestures, consistently appears to mediate, steering the results back in support of Brooke. Taylor's affection for Edge has forever been portrayed by soundness and real consideration. She addresses the quiet in Edge's tempest, a sanctuary of close-to-home security when his life goes wild. Her capacity to grasp Edge on a more profound level, to give him comfort and direction, has been one of her characterizing assets. Be that as it may, her adoration frequently accompanies the shadow of selflessness, a readiness to place Edge's bliss over her own, in any event, when it comes at extraordinary individual expense. Brooke, then again, addresses the searing, eccentric energy that has spellbound Edge over and over. Her association with Edge is electric, obvious, and saturated with a common history that traverses many years. While their relationship is frequently laden with difficulties, double-crossings, and errors, it is supported by a feeling of certainty, a practically legendary bond that Edge himself has alluded to as predetermination. This has made a difficult task for Taylor, as Edge's inclination toward Brooke frequently feels less like a decision and more like a certainty. The minutes when Taylor does win Edge are self-contradicting. They frequently come now and again when Edge is disappointed with Brooke or looking for comfort from her apparent double-crossings. However, even at these times, the phantom of Brooke poses a potential threat. Edge might vow his adoration and reliability to Taylor, however there's consistently a fundamental strain, a feeling that his heart isn't entirely hers. For Taylor, these snapshots of triumph are many times brief, as Edge's association with Brooke definitely re-emerges, pulling him back into her circle. The close-to-home cost for Taylor is significant. She is a lady who cherishes profoundly and genuinely, and every misfortune to Brooke works on her healthy identity worth. Her flexibility is wonderful, yet even the most grounded hearts have their cutoff points. Consistently, she has reconstructed herself, tracked down strength in her job as a mother, and looked to push ahead, just to be stepped once more into a similar excruciating cycle. For Brooke, her victories over Taylor are seldom malignant. While she is without a doubt a polarizing figure, frequently blamed for self-centeredness and control, her adoration for Edge is certifiable. Brooke doesn't embark to hurt Taylor, all things being equal, her triumphs are a side effect of her strong bond with Edge. This unique makes their contention all the seriously convincing, as it is driven not by malignance, but rather by the intricacies of affection and faithfulness. Eventually, Taylor's failure to genuinely win over Brooke originates from Edge himself. He is a man conflicted between two universes, two loves, and two forms of bliss. His hesitation, his propensity to falter, and his dependence on close-to-home motivations encourage it unthinkable for one or the other lady to in his adoration. However long Edge stays at the focal point of their contention, the cycle will keep, passing on Taylor to confront the difficult reality that she might in all likelihood never completely win the man she adores. But, Taylor perseveres. Her solidarity, empathy, and resolute confidence in adoration make her an encouraging sign, even despite misfortune. While Brooke may frequently arise as the victor, Taylor's process is a demonstration of the versatility of the human soul, an update that even notwithstanding misfortune, there is dependably the chance of recuperating and restoration. In the high-stakes universe of the striking and the wonderful, where dedication and selling out frequently entwine, Brooke Logan's most recent plan is ready to change the tides of force and love by and by. Brooke's mystery plan, created with accuracy and driven by her immovable confidence in Edge Forrester's authority, is a demonstration of her strength and assurance. While Edge at present perspectives her activities as a treachery, Brooke's secret procedure uncovers a more profound reason, re-establishing request to Forrester manifestations and, at last, rejoining her broke relationship with Edge. At the core of Brooke's arrangement lies her goal to recover the president position at Forrester manifestations. While the move at first seems self-serving, it is everything except. Brooke will likely position Edge and Forrester as co-pioneers, making a powerful team in charge of the privately run company. Brooke accepts that this plan won't just settle the organization yet in addition mend the break inside the Forrester family, which has been tormented by infighting and fights for control. To accomplish her objective, Brooke has enrolled the assistance of Carter Walton, the confided in Forrester manifestations' lawful guidance. Her procedure includes convincing Carter to refile the LLC reports, guaranteeing that the chief position is reassigned by her vision. Brooke's activities are determined, utilizing her insight into corporate regulation and her knowledge into the relational peculiarities to coordinate an answer that benefits everybody, particularly Edge. Nonetheless, Brooke's arrangement isn't without chances. Edge's view of her has been blurred by his conviction that she carried on of aspiration, sabotaging Steffi and the family's solidarity. To counter this story, Brooke should face Edge straightforwardly, divulging her actual expectations and demonstrating her dedication. This showdown, set to unfurl during the 7-day stretch of December 23rd to 27th, will be a vital second in their relationship. At the point when Edge learns of Brooke's arrangement, his underlying response will probably be one of doubt and disarray. The acknowledgement that Brooke acted not really for individual addition, but rather for a long-term benefit compels him to rethink his presumptions and stand up to his own inclinations. Brooke's faithful obligation to Edge and his family, even notwithstanding their alienation, is a strong demonstration of the profundity of her affection and dedication. Yet, this has yet to be addressed. How might Edge answer this disclosure? Will he perceive the mistake of his methodologies and recognize Brooke's steadfastness, or will his obstinate pride keep him from seeing reality? Edge's set of experiences as a waffler proposes that his excursion toward understanding may not be clear. Be that as it may, Brooke's strength in contriving and executing this plan shows her ability to battle for what she trusts in any event, when the situation is anything but favorable for her. Brooke's mystery plan likewise ups the ante for Taylor Hayes, who has as of late revived her sentiment with Edge. Taylor's conviction that she has at long last prevailed upon Edge is tested by Brooke's activities, which feature the getting through association among Brooke and Edge. Taylor should wrestle with the likelihood that Brooke's impact over Edge stays major areas of strength for as could be expected, taking steps to disentangle the delicate bliss she has found. As the aftermath from Brooke's arrangement unfurls, the elements between Edge, Brooke, and Taylor are set to move indeed. Brooke's bet, driven by her affection for Edge and her assurance to re-establish congruity to Forrester manifestations, is a strong move that could either set her situation in Edge's heart or drive him further away. One thing is sure, Brooke's mystery plan will have sweeping results, reshaping the existences of all interested parties and making way for the following section in this ageless circle of drama. Edge Forrester, a man whose heart is pretty much as erratic as the tides, ends up by wrestling with the aftermath of his uncertainty. Nicknamed the Waffler by enthusiasts of the intense and the lovely, Edge's example of faltering between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes has been a foundation of the show's theatrics for a really long time. His latest decisions, in any case, may at last power him to go up against the profound destruction left afterward, and the acknowledgement that his mistakes in judgment have extensive ramifications for all interested parties. At the center of Edge's unrest lies his clashing affections for Brooke and Taylor. Brooke epitomizes searing energy, flexibility, and an association saturated with history. Taylor, then again, addresses strength, understanding, and a feeling of quiet. Edge's powerlessness to completely focus on either lady stems not from an absence of affection but rather from his propensity to allow his feelings to influence him at the time, frequently disregarding the drawn-out ramifications of his activities. In this most recent part, Edge's disappointment with Brooke over her supposed disloyalty at Forrester manifestations drove him to look for comfort in Taylor's arms. Accepting Brooke had sabotaged the family by holding on to the chief position, Edge inclined toward the solace Taylor gave, reigniting their sentiment and giving Taylor trust that her affection for Edge could at long last be responded in full. However, as usual, reality has an approach to surfacing, and Edge is presently confronted with proof that Brooke's activities were not self-serving yet propelled by devotion and love for himself as well as his loved ones. The acknowledgement that he might have misconceived Brooke is a devastating disaster for Edge's inner self and his healthy identity. It drives him to recognize the rushed ends he leaped to and the aggravation he caused simultaneously. Brooke's unfaltering obligation to re-establishing solidarity inside the Forrester family, in spite of the individual expense for her, remains as a distinct difference to Edge's own hasty choices. Her activities feature her reliability as well as the profundity of her affection, an affection that has stayed consistent through innumerable preliminaries. As Edge processes this new data, the heaviness of his missteps turns out to be progressively hard to overlook. His example of wavering among Brooke and Taylor has left the two ladies genuinely depleted and never-endingly unsure of where they stand. Edge's failure to settle on a conclusive decision has sustained a pattern of catastrophe, and his acknowledgement of this reality may at last constrain him to take responsibility for his activities. Notwithstanding, perceiving his mistake is just the initial step. Edge should now choose how to push ahead, and this choice is loaded with difficulties. Yet again reaffirming his obligation to Brooke would mean making Taylor extremely upset, breaking the delicate bliss she has viewed as in their revived sentiment. However, staying with Taylor out of culpability or commitment would be similarly unjustifiable, as it would deny the two ladies enough certifiable love and regard. For Taylor, Edge's revelation is self-contradicting. While she might take comfort in the way that Edge sees reality with regards to Brooke's unwaveringness, it additionally highlights the difficult reality that Edge's heart has forever been partitioned. Taylor has done her absolute best to Edge, just to see him more than once stepped back to Brooke. This acknowledgement might push Taylor to rethink her own decisions and consider whether her affection for Edge merits the nonstop disaster. Brooke, in the meantime, faces her own arrangement of difficulties. While Edge's affirmation of her steadfastness might reaffirm their association, it doesn't delete the aggravation of his questions or the strain their relationship has persevered. Brooke should conclude whether she will keep battling for an affection that has frequently left her inclination overlooked, or on the other hand assuming the time has come to focus on her own satisfaction. Eventually, Edge's acknowledgement of his mistake is an urgent second, however it isn't the finish of the story. It makes way for more profound reflection, troublesome discussions, and possibly life-changing choices. Whether Edge can at last break liberated from his example of uncertainty and pick a way that praises the affection and penances of both Brooke and Taylor is not yet clear. For the present, the main assurance is that Edge's process is nowhere near finished, and the gradually expanding influences of his decisions will keep on deeply shaping the existences of everybody around him.